Joe Biden has come back to the White House a couple days early. He was back home in Delaware, his home in Delaware. I think it said Vermont earlier. Delaware, of course. And he's going to address the nation in 11 minutes. If they are on time, we will carry that live here on KIRO Radio. I mentioned a tweet that I got from an Afghanistan deployed vet who he said carried over 100 men on his shoulder as a pallbearer and has no words for what's going on. But I'm going to ask him to come up with some words. James Waldron is that man who tweeted me and joins me live here in the Dori Monson Show. James, I appreciate you reaching out. Thank you, sir.
Hey, Dori. How are you doing today?
Fine, thank you. So what inspired you to reach out on Twitter? What is going through your mind and your heart and your soul right now as you watch this?
I mean, like I said, I have very few words, but I also have a lot of words, and a lot of it's, angry, almost feel defeated. But and a lot of my fellow Marines that we deployed together feel kind of the same. There's a defeated part. There's a attempt to try to stay positive about the whole thing, knowing that for at least 20 years through all the money spent and lives lost, that we kept the fight over there instead of it coming back to our country after 9/11.
Well, yeah, and it clearly was where many of these terrorist plots were hatched, and to me, Afghanistan made much more sense than Iraq. But so, when were you there, James? When were you deployed?
I was there in 2010, around May to November time. You can read, some of the things that happened during that time. There was the base under a ground attack where they were launching mortars our way. One of my good buddies, Corey from Louisiana, him and I were walking to chow and almost got hit with a mortar. But we were also, that was the pallbearer duties. I mean, we lost 88 Marines and sailors. We lost countless soldiers, civilians, British Air Force. They were all carried on our shoulders, and it makes me wonder if they died in vain, if they were, if they died for no reason. It's kind of difficult to comprehend everything that went on.
I can imagine. I can't imagine being a family member, a loved one, a widowed or widower spouse who lost their loved one there. I can't imagine what it must be like because you understand. I mean, everybody knows what the possibilities are when you join the military, but you want to believe that everything you do is for a reason, for a purpose, and for a mission because it's selflessness. It's about America. And now we have a radical Islamist state that'll be a terror stronghold for years and years to come. It's really baffling. Did you see this coming when they first announced the pullout?
I wondered. I mean, Dori, the thing is, you like I said, many of my fellow Marines and soldiers that I've met along the way, and we signed up, we volunteered. Some of us just volunteered for a job. We didn't quite understand until we got there. But the thing was, we kept, like I said earlier, we kept the fight over there instead of bringing it back allowing it back into our country. And what worries me, Dori, is that now it's almost just a matter of time before it's back here. We saw, you mentioned maybe 2,500 lives lost in Afghanistan, and how many of them were lost in the terrorist plot on 9/11? More than that. Over 3,000. So in a blink of an eye, I was in 7th grade at that time. 3,000 plus lives were lost because of plots from this country. And now what's what's happened is we're giving them the opportunity to come back in, and welcome them back in. And it's scary because, is that going to affect my family or your family or whatnot when they find themselves here?
Well, and when you hear, if you heard those sound bites I played last half hour, when all of Joe Biden's military intelligence people were telling him that this was going to happen, and he just kept saying, no, it's not going to happen. It's not going to be another Saigon. It's not going to be another, we're airlifting people off the roof of the embassy. Taliban's not going to take over. Everything he said was wrong. So, it's just, it is awful. This is really, from a foreign policy day, this has been just one of the worst since 9/11. Well, James, bless you for your service, sir. And is it true? I heard that after you served in Afghanistan, you signed up with the National Guard and you were deployed at CHOP in the East Precinct, too?
Yeah, Dori, I found myself with many others, of course, during the riots there in Seattle, and that was another part of my career that's stuck with me almost a little too hard. We were there ready to line the streets, line the businesses, line the precinct, ready to give protesters what they wanted. They wanted their street back. They wanted to go. They wanted their city back. They felt trapped, and we said, okay, this is what's going to happen. And then at the last minute, it seemed that whether it was the mayor's call or the governor's, I'm not sure, but they said, just kidding, get on the bus. And, our last team, we pulled out, got on a bus. If you remember, there were Seattle School District tweeting out, we don't support the National Guard on our school grounds.
Yeah, they wouldn't let you deploy there. Yeah, or stage there. It was just crazy. Well, look, this is. We watch on our. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm going to go to Biden Live in just a minute here, James. So, God bless you for your service. Thank you for all you have done and continue to do for your country. And I'm sorry that so many of you feel like Afghanistan was in vain. It's horrible.
I appreciate it, Dori.
All right. Thank you, James. Okay, let me take a quick time out here. If Joe Biden's on time, he's going to speak in 4 minutes, 3 minutes now. We'll carry it live here on the Dori Monson Show.